Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at www.beautyprofessor.net. Today I'm excited to do a quick tutorial featuring the Metier de Beaute Kaleidoscope in Obsidian Odyssey, which is a very unique 4-tiered eyeshadow palette, if you will, very much specific to the Metier de Beaute line. I'll be showing you how I like to apply these 5 shades housed within the Kaleidoscope, and I know that oftentimes a litany of eyeshadow in a single product can be a little bit daunting, and I assure you I'm able to achieve a full look in a matter of minutes, which I'll be demonstrating today. So ever since debuting this particular Kaleidoscope on my Instagram account, I've had a host of comments as well as direct emails requesting that I showcase the way I like to apply this product. The shades are quite unique, and perhaps if you haven't had a lot of experience with mixing shades, it could cause one to be a little quizzical about how to do it. So I just want to showcase the shades very quickly, and I'll have swatches and additional images on my blog, which I'll link to below. This is the first shade. It is a yellow gold based bronzy camel. I know that's a lot of adjectives for a single color, but my goodness, this is such a stunning color. I'm a lover of neutrals, and this shade definitely takes care of a neutral eye objective, but it's not your typical brown or taupe. Almost like a mustard, but way more wearable. Then we have this stunning corally peach. This is not a shade I would normally embrace upon my eye, and I do want to mention that each of these shades is much more pigmented in a swatch and certainly on the eye than it is in the pan. I'm always stunned by the velvet pigmentation of the Metier de Beaute True Color eyeshadows, and these shades are no exception. Each has a bit of shimmer or satin finish, but it's just so rich and very unique. Then we have this soft kind of pale pink rose. Once again, not a shade I would normally gravitate towards, but it makes for a perfect highlight when you combine the prior 2 shades, and definitely something you can wear up to the brow bone for accent and to catch the light. And then this top pan has a split shadow situation going on. You've got a very dark, non-shimmery black shadow, very rich, and then a slightly shimmering blue shadow, kind of in the lapis category. It's a luminous navy, if you will, and makes for a perfect accent on the eye. A quick word on the other makeup I'm wearing right now. I am wearing the Tom Ford Traceless Perfecting Foundation today in a mixture of number 3 Fawn and number 5 Natural. It's a good color combination for my winter skin. And I am also wearing the Beaute Brow Mascara in number 4, which is dark brown. I did my makeup this morning in like 5 minutes right before work. It was super fast and it's lasted all day long. This is the end of my work day. So I was embracing products that are easy to apply and have longevity, knowing I was going to be wearing them for hours on end. On the cheeks, I've got a bit of Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow for contour and highlight, as well as the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in First Love, which is a favorite of mine. It's kind of a peach tan beige. Can't overdo it. Just brings warmth to the face without being over the top. And then on lips, I'm only wearing one shade. It's the NARS Audacious Lipstick in Raquel, and it is a fantastic creamy opaque nude. Doesn't dry out the lips, just adds fullness, and I think is a great kind of beigey pink nude for most skin tones. I'm starting with clean eyes right now, with the exception of some mascara that I didn't want to remove. I put it on almost 10 hours earlier today. It's the Surratt Releve mascara, and because it just has fabulous lasting power, I thought I would just leave that alone. So I have 2 coats of that. Otherwise, I have removed all makeup from my eyes and then put a touch of the Surratt Beauty Surrealist Skin Concealer in number 5, just to even out this area here where any foundation might have been removed. And I've balanced it with a bit of the By Terry Dawn Solis concealer, which is more of a liquid consistency, and this is in shade number 3 Natural Beige. The Metier de Beaute Kaleidoscopes are very utilitarian in the fact, of course, they house many shades, but it also has a built-in mirror, so that's going to allow me to apply this on camera, still being adept and being able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to start by using this bottom shade here, which is kind of a gilded mustard with a little less intensity, more of a subdued mustard. and I'm going to be putting it all over my upper eyelid. So I'm using a Hakuhodo blending brush right now, and I'm going to be using the same brush for all the shades. That's probably some form of makeup taboo, but it's typically what I do, so I'm just giving you a true-to-life vision of how I use these shades together, especially when I'm in a rush, which is always. And I'm just blending across my upper eyelid here. Moving it across, you can see that it just is opaque. There's a bit of satin finish, but it's not glittery. And keep blending. The Metier de Beaute approach in French is something that involves words that begin with C, and I'll type them into the details box. Mikey Castillo from Le Metier de Beaute has talked to me about this many times over, and it's a technique that he spearheaded, this idea of layering the color in the kaleidoscope to build depth and intensity on the eye. And you work with each pan of color, working from the bottom all the way to the top. So, or you could do top to bottom if you wish. I'm going to move bottom to top. Now that I've moved this first layer off my eyelid, like so, I'm going to move to the next shade, which is this peachy salmon with amazing reflective capabilities. Same brush, tapping it onto the brush, and I'm going to move this through the crease of my eye, like so. You can already see that it's bringing this eye to life, adding some additional dimension. I love the way the peach layers on top of this camelly mustard. Unexpected, very earthy, but still very wearable. I wore this to a dinner party last weekend, and it worked really well with blacks and nudes. I had a nude leather jacket and a black dress, and it all blended together nicely with this eye, which adds some color but not too much. And then I'm going to dust off a bit of the color on my brush and go to this lightest shade right here, this pearly pink, and I'm going to bring this to the base of my brow, like so. You can see that it adds some reflection, and this pink actually imparts quite a decent amount of color. So I'm going to make sure everything is blended nicely here. Blended and even. I'll be taking a bit more of the first two shades, the bronze and the peach. I'm mixing them together, and I'm sweeping it underneath my lower lash line here. Relatively done eye, completely undone eye. I'm going to clean this up a little bit with a touch of concealer and a clean brush to sweep through here, and then I'll talk to you about how I use these top, darkest, most intense shades. Now I've gone ahead and just quickly completed my other eye, and it took me all of 30 seconds. You can see the colors working in harmony together. And now I'm going to demonstrate how I might use the blue and the black shades. For me, my personal makeup taste would be that I would leave the eye like this, perhaps add a black line of gel eyeliner right along my lower waterline, maybe if I was going out at night, or I would just add perhaps an extra coat of mascara and head off to work. But if I'm to utilize the rest of the shades, then I'll take this up a notch. The blue here, this beautiful blue, you can see it's just so pigmented. I'm going to use this navy blue just for accent, and I'm going to put that accent right in the crease part of my eye, just like this. Let's blend out. It adds a touch more depth, a little bit of drama. And blue is not normally a shade I would go to, but I think it works exceptionally well with the other shades. So unexpected, yet complementary. And that will be it on that. And then for the black shade, because this black liner can be used with a wet brush as a liner, that's obviously an option. You can sweep that across your upper lash line or even work on your lower lash line to add depth, make the eyes pop. Today I'm going to use it dry. I'm just going to sweep a bit on the tip of my brush, and this is a very versatile brush, and I'm going to treat it like a powder waterline liner, which is a little bit unconventional. I'm just going to sweep it right across the base of my lashes here to make everything a little darker, but not with any harsh edges. So to reiterate, all I did was I took a touch of the black powder, which I could also apply wet, and I swept it across this lower region here, right as close to the base of my lower lashes as possible. Just like you would an eyeliner that you're putting on your waterline, but in this case I have a diffused darkness because it's a powder, and it just adds some depth to this lower area without being too dramatic. Now, if my application feels like it was too rushed and I need to clean things up just a touch, I might go back and use a little bit of my Beaute concealer. I'm wiping off some excess. I'm touching just a bit along here, and this is really where I would be most concerned about perhaps a touch of fallout initially or a lack of blending. Domed multi-brush by Jenny Patikin, one of my favorites for applying concealer. And then I'm just going to tap this in right along the area that I want to be brighter rather than darker, and clean this up and use the brush to kind of clean things. So concludes my demonstration of how I like to apply the Metier de Beaute Obsidian Odyssey Kaleidoscope. I'll give you a final close-up on the eye. And close. I think these shades are versatile for a spectrum of eye colors. The shades work together for an unexpected, fresh eye look. These 5 shade options yield limitless combinations, but I do find myself relying upon that bottom to top approach in most cases for an interesting take on a neutral eye. I hope you enjoyed this brief tutorial, and I would love to hear your experiences with the Metier de Beaute kaleidoscopes. Which ones are your favorites? Another favorite of mine is Carnaby Street, which is a softer, more pastel eye, definitely a bit cooler. So I feel like I have the best of both worlds with Carnaby Street, which I'll link to my tutorial on below, as well as, of course, Obsidian Odyssey, which is a must if you can get your hands on it. As always, please do not forget to visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at www.beautyprofessor.net. Take care.